Hello everyone, and welcome back to what's hopefully going to be a quick repair video, because, yeah, I have a pretty good idea what's wrong with this card already. So, this is an RX 580 4GB version. I bought this for 30-something euros, and the description is it's overheating. And also the shroud has one of the plastic clips broke that secure the shroud, which I guess is fair enough. But yeah, so the main problem with this is apparently that the card is overheating. I have a pretty good idea why. You see the PCI Express slot? It's a bit bent, and these thermal pads don't look stock. Yeah, I think I know exactly what's wrong with this. I have not taken this apart yet, but that cable being through here tells me this probably has been taken apart before. And the screws do look like they've seen a screwdriver before. Actually, it looks like someone slipped right here. Yeah, but I have a feeling that this card has a serious case of someone used too thick thermal pads, and the core no longer has proper contact, which leads to massive overheating, which I have confirmed. I've turned this thing on to check, and yeah, it does kind of sit on the desktop at 89 degrees, which it shouldn't. And then when I took it back out, I was like, it's probably not enough thermal paste or something, or like not mounted the heatsink correctly. Then I noticed how bent the thing is. So, you ready for the reveal? How much thermal paste contact is there actually? And I've realized the thermal pads are like probably pretty sticky, and it is probably not coming off very easily. So I'm gonna have to try. Be a bit careful. I can't take the back plate off yet because that's still attached. Okay. Oh, it has like a... It's one cable and then there's like an RGB. Yep. Yeah. That is not what your thermal paste contact should look like. Oh my god. Yeah, so these thermal pads are not stock. That is very much manually applied thermal pad. And these thermal pads are too thick. So thick that the cooler doesn't make proper contact with the die. Yeah. That's the problem with this card. Like, you put a better heatsink on this. Actually, it's kinda... Yeah. Bit of a problem that this VRM heatsink is integrated. Because, I might figure something out. I might just thermal tape some Raspberry Pi heatsinks to the VRM and then steal the heatsink off my dead RX 470 or something. But yeah, so this thing, the thermal pads are too thick, and that's why it's not making proper contact. Because someone, for some reason, decided to replace the thermal pads. I don't know why. Like, thermal pads usually don't break over time if you just let them alone. They usually just keep doing what they're supposed to do. These are some really hard thermal pads too. Oh no! Oh, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. So, someone didn't even peel the protective layer off the thermal pads. Yeah, whoever I bought this from, please don't disassemble graphics cards in the future. This is... Also, the VRM controller doesn't need cooling. Also, the 12-volt input inductor also doesn't need cooling. And also, you put a thermal pad on the inductors for memory and VDDCI. No, actually, I think that's only memory, because VDDCI is this thing up here. Yeah, the MOSFETs need cooling, not the inductors. You don't need to do that. Yeah, let's clean this thing properly. I might just put my universal water block on it and just like point a fan at the VRM for the time being. Just make sure that the thing works properly. I'm quite happy though. This was a very cheap RX 580. I mean, it's a 4GB and it has LPDA chips. This is probably not a great overclocker, but if I ever want an RX 580 to mess with, then I can use this. I also have that other 8GB 580 on a reference PCB. Oh yeah, this thing ran really hot. You can see that the substrate around the core has like gone brown. That only happens when it's like really, really hot for a long amount of time. So this thing, I mean, that as much I estimated from how the seller described it, the guy probably used the card in this state for a long time. It was probably thermal throttling all the time. I'm sorry, little card. You are in a better place now. I might still end up killing you, but you'll die with dignity. And not a very slow, painful heat death. Actually, let's take a look at the thermal pads on the back side as well. Those are messed up as well. Because this is a surprisingly nice PCB. Like, I mean, the VRM MOSFETs are probably trash. Because I remember Bullseye doing the RX 480 version of this, and it was pretty bad apparently. Thermal pads look fine on this one. I don't think these ones were messed with. But yeah, like I remember the RX 480, which is basically identical to this one as far as I know. Like, it is a 6-phase VRM, and it has 2 low-side MOSFETs, which, you know, should indicate that this is a pretty capable VRM. Apparently the MOSFETs are kind of trash. Like, what are these? Are these like... are these on semiconductor ones? Because if they're like 4C10Ns, then yeah, they are trash. I can't tell. No, I don't think these are on semi. I don't know what these are. I don't recognize the parts and the logo. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, it's still a 6-phase, which is a lot better than like the 4-phase VRM with equally as good MOSFETs that I got on my RX 570. That one blew up. You can, if you look on my channel, you can find a very old, very bad video of me trying to repair it and then actually succeeding, but then it blew up again. Probably because one of the driver chips was faulty too, and I didn't know you need to replace those as well back then. So I just blew up the new MOSFETs I put on. And then for some reason I decided to e-power the card, pulled the PWM controller, and damaged something, because when I put the PWM controller back after I realized that e-powering a modern AMD card doesn't work, the thing wouldn't start anymore, and now it's just spare parts. Yeah. Do I just... I might have replacement thermal pads that are like the right thickness for the memory. The VRM, I don't know if that works. Can I... I'll just figure out something. Oh yeah. I have this heatsink I can use for emergencies. It'll be enough to keep the card from overheating while I run like a couple benchmarks to make sure that the card works properly. You should not run the card like that long term. The VRM and the memory modules will very much not like it. I just need the core to not overheat. Let's put some fresh thermal paste on this. I'd like to thank our recurring sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay offers professional PCB manufacturing and assembly services of all shapes and sizes, whatever you need for your project. You can quickly get a quote by just telling them some basic information about what you need, and if you like what you're seeing, you can upload your design files and go straight ahead to payment, fabrication, and then shipment. And even if you don't need a PCB specific project, you can still find some very good options here, because PCBWay also offers CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, 3D printing, and even injection molding. If any of this sounded interesting to you, then please go ahead and give PCBWay a try. Alright, the card is in the system, and you can already tell that the temperature is much better because the fans aren't spinning. But yeah, so the card is in, it's running a benchmark, and would you look at that, we're only at 43 degrees, and it's slowly climbing now because I just started it, but clocks are right, temperatures look good, you know, everything else is alright, and the card is properly detected, and yeah, everything is fine. Really, the only thing that was wrong with this, now the fans have started up. The bearings seem to be a bit worn out. They do make a bit of noise when they turn, but the card works now. So I guess that's the end of the video because the card works now. Yeah, so really everything that was wrong with this is that the seller applied thermal pads that were not the right size, which caused the cooler to no longer make contact with the die properly, which caused the insane overheating that was described. If you want to take anything away from this, then don't replace your thermal pads, because I've seen too many cases like this. This is just the first time that it happened to a card that I bought. There is a huge amount of people that like to replace their GPU's thermal pads, and a lot of them end up breaking their card doing it. Unless you know what you're doing and you really need better thermal pads, just don't do it. Just don't, okay? It's probably not worth the gains and the voided warranty and the admittedly huge risk that you break your card, because I've seen so many broken cards from this. Like, given the scratches on the backplate of this, like, I don't know how, but a lot of people that do these kind of mods seem to be just straight up brutes with their graphics cards, and I don't know, I don't know how else you could scratch them that much and then cause such a mess. But anyway, the card works now. I should probably stop the test because I have not put the memory thermal pads back on this, so I'm gonna stop it. We went up to 61 degrees on the core, that's completely fine. But yeah, so case closed, card works now. I just need to find some thermal pads that actually fit, and you know, maybe I'll replace the heatsink because it's a bit sketchy. But other than that, working RX 480, 580, sorry, essentially the same, but still. And yeah, that's probably the shortest quote-unquote repair. I mean, I did make the card work again. It is technically a repair, but it's, yeah, probably the shortest repair video I've ever made, because this time there wasn't anything really wrong with the card. It was just, you know, problem exists between screen and keyboard. Whatever. Until next time, goodbye.